Hey everyone, I'm Jenny and I blog at The Domestic Wildflower, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a super simple coffee liqueur, and it's done in under an hour. So my mom has been making this recipe for as long as I can remember as a really fun way to make something homemade to give as gifts around the holidays. Of course, you could make it for yourself to keep, but it really does make a really good gift because it's something unusual. You can decant the coffee liqueur into a really interesting container like a Grolsch bottle or a mason jar or some other really beautiful container. A Weck jar would be cute. And it's really nice in the wintertime because it's it's a nice add-in to lots of different hot drinks. And the best part of all is it's done in an hour. Sometimes you don't have time to be working all day long at the stove, and this is a good recipe that is done quickly. So the ingredients are super simple. I have 12 tablespoons of coffee. I'm going to put it in my saucepan. 3 measuring cups of sugar. I have used brown sugar in the past, and I've used turbinado sugar, and all of those were really good. Turbinado sugar and brown sugar give a more mapley flavor. And usually I just use whatever's on hand. And then to that, I'm going to add 4 cups of water. And turn my burner on medium. And I'm going to stir it to dissolve. And let it simmer for about 45 minutes. So as it's simmering, I wouldn't leave the house, or maybe not leave the kitchen, but you could bustle around and do a chore here or there and just keep an eye on it. You don't want it to burn, but it really is that super simple that you just get it to where the sugar is dissolving. It's just warm enough to start coming to a simmer. A simmer is where the bubbles are coming up and just slowly bursting, as opposed to a rolling boil where there's lots and lots and lots of bubbles coming to the surface and bursting. So you just bring this to a simmer and let it, once it starts to simmer, set the timer or keep an eye on the clock for about 45 minutes. And at that point, you will turn the burner off, and I'll show you what happens next. Almost done, but I wanted to show you what it looks like now that we've created this kind of a syrup. So it's the coffee and the sugar is it's not see-through. It's a fairly opaque, coffee-colored, very strong tasting syrup, okay? So remember, it's supposed to look like that, and it actually will coat the side of your jar pretty well because of all the sugar. And that's what you want. We'll be diluting it with the vodka here in a minute. And really, coffee liqueur is meant to be added like a tablespoon or a shot at a time to a hot mug of cocoa or coffee or something else, and you probably wouldn't be well advised to just drink it straight. So that's what it looks like. The final ingredient for this recipe is 1/5 or 750 milliliters of vodka. So this recipe isn't one where we ferment our own creation and create our own alcohol. This is just using store-bought alcohol, and that's really in the name of convenience and time. Vodka very often comes in other sizes, which can be kind of confusing if you don't buy bottles of vodka very often. So just know that a fifth isn't, I'm sure it was at one time a fifth of something, but it's not like you're going to buy a container and then measure out 5 portions of it and then pour in a fifth of it. A fifth is a measurement the same way a bushel is a measurement or a quart is a measurement. So just look at the milliliters on the label. That's the easiest way, I think, because you're looking for 750 milliliters. And we aren't going to add the vodka until this coffee and sugar syrup is done cooking. When you heat alcohol, the actual alcohol evaporates. You know how when you clean with rubbing alcohol, it's dry in no time? It's because it evaporates very quickly. So we'll add that when this mixture has simmered for 45 minutes and is cool in temperature, cooler. And we'll just pour that vodka in and stir it to mix. And then we'll decant it into our bottles using a funnel. Our coffee liqueur is ready to be poured into bottles. Ooh. In the water for 45 minutes. I turned the burner off and let it cool. And then I added the vodka. I stirred to combine, used a funnel, and poured it into my pretty jars. And I added a bow, and now these are ready for gifting. Helping you learn techniques and recipes that you can use to feel like a more prepared and inspired hostess. Like you can bring something genuine and homemade and something that you took care to create, but not all day long to make. Is something I'm really passionate about. And because of that, I created a course called Wildflower Mixology. It's at wildflowermixology.com. And it's a course that teaches you how to make homemade cocktail mixers, things like this. And simple, and I really try to help you learn how to use farmers market fresh produce, ingredients that are pretty easy to find in the grocery store, and kind of old-fashioned and simple techniques to create delicious and beautiful and bright and flavorful drinks that you can serve both in your home or give as gifts. And I think that taking that course would leave a person with the feeling that they were able to correctly express or accurately convey their enthusiasm for having their loved ones over, or their gratitude for being hosted, or a way to show how happy or joyful or celebratory a situation may be. It's a really super fun course. I cannot wait to see you inside.